What's going on, guys? Thanks again for tuning into the channel for another video, and I appreciate it. Thank you again. So it is fucking hard nipples cold out here in New England. It's fucking freezing out in Connecticut right now. So I'm in the confines of the cave with the nice heat, and we're gonna make another video. So a couple weeks ago, I made a video called Why You Shouldn't Spend $15,000 on a Knight's Armament m110 sass. And oh my lord, did the comment section go fucking bonkers. Best way to describe it was was in the comment section was probably this. Rage! Heads were exploding, fingers were snapping because they were moving so fast over the keyboard. People did not like what I had to say about the Knight's Armament m110. So, we're making a part 2 right now, because there was some stuff that I brushed off with the m110, and if you didn't like what I had to say about it in the previous video, you should probably just fuck off right now, because you're most certainly not gonna like what I have to say in this video. People did bring up a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about. And well, you know what? I didn't talk about it because you're probably not gonna like what I had to say about it. I have a lot of time behind the Knight's Armament m110, and just a disclaimer, I like this rifle. I can't say it enough. I like this rifle. Out of all of my rifles I own, and I own a lot of them, this one probably is my favorite, and I probably have the most time behind this rifle. So, you know, there was people in the comments saying, "Whoa, you should probably listen to somebody more than 370 subscribers." 450, by the way. Haha, rock on. Thank you guys for that, by the way. But yeah, by all means. I don't know what I'm talking about. I probably only have about 5,000 rounds behind this fucking thing. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I have a lot of time behind this thing, and I was thinking about it. To be fair, there was some stuff that I did brush off with the Knight's Armament m110. And we're gonna go into it a little farther, okay? So we're gonna start again from back to front. And let's just dive right on into it. So, stock. All you got is your fixed Knight's Armament stock. This stock cost around 400 bucks, give or take. There's not really much to it. It has your adjustable length of pole, which it does have a couple different settings, but not as fine as I would like for it to be. But you do have the option for adjustable settings for your length of pole. And other than that, nothing really else. You don't have any, you don't have a cheek riser for your cheek, and it's just a fixed stock. You do have these QD mounts right here for a sling. Those do come with it. And then you have your little tightening knob right here for your length of pole. But other than that, for 400 bucks, that's what you get. Oh yeah, I forgot to say. The little, you can't see it probably in the video, but the little screw that puts the stock into the buffer tube, I don't know what happened. It could have been me. I mean, I highly doubt it. I've worked on a lot of rifles. I've built a lot of rifles. I understand the concept of torque. Too much torque, not enough torque. I get it, okay? I understand that. I usually torque everything down on my rifles with a torque wrench. And, well, I tighten the screw down, and you can't see it. Well, the little teeny plate that puts the bolt into the buffer tube, well, it's all cracked. So that probably was maybe, I don't know, couple rounds in, I noticed that plate cracked. So yeah, there you go. Your Knight's Armament stock cracks, doesn't have anything. That's what you get for 400 bucks. Yeah. So again, you're trying, when it comes to stuff like this, you're buying the name, you're buying the history. You're not getting what you think. Just because it's a 400, you paid good money for it, doesn't mean it's the greatest thing on the, it doesn't mean it's the fucking greatest thing since sliced bread. And that's the point of this video. I'm not saying that the M110 is not a fucking, is an awful rifle, because it's not. It's a good rifle, but like anything, it has its setbacks. I'm just saying for $15,000, which is about the price tag of this rifle, even an SR25, you're looking at probably around 4 or 5 grand for something like this. I'm just telling you, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. But enough of that. Let's drive on. Lower receiver is kind of, I mean, just like a mil-spec lower. I don't really see anything too crazy about it. The trigger is a 2-stage Knight's Armament trigger, which is a pretty crisp trigger. I got nothing bad to really say about it. It's just kind of a, I don't know, two-stage trigger. It feels pretty good, so I'm not going to really talk about too much about that. But I mean, your Geisleys and stuff like that, I think, are far superior. But it's not a bad trigger. The upper receiver, so you really notice that it doesn't have the forward assist. I read into that. Knight's Armament says they got rid of the forward assist because I guess nobody uses it. And I kind of believe that. I don't really know any time I've used the forward assist. Maybe I should use it more. I don't really know. But that's why it doesn't have the forward assist on the upper receiver. But it's a pretty slick design. I always liked the look of the M110. It's really slick, real badass looking. And I think it looks nice. But other than that, I don't really notice anything too crazy about the upper receiver. Now going into the bolt. Let's just put her down right there. So your bolt, your Knight's Armament bolt and bolt carrier. Everybody, you didn't talk about the bolt. Okay, well, you know what? Let's fucking talk about this thing right now. It has like the sand cutter in it, which was these grooves right here. I guess it helps it from, you know, just keeping all that shit out when, you know, it's cycling through for, you know, hostile environments and dirt and grime and everything like that. But other than that, I mean, it's nothing really crazy. I mean, I run it suppressed, so it's automatically gonna get really fucking dirty, but it stays pretty clean. It's really not too bad. But again, you're looking at almost 2 grand for this bolt and bolt carrier. And it's really rare. You'll see the sand cutter grooves are kind of rare to find. Those are specifically for the M110. And I'm pretty sure some SR25s have them. I could be wrong. I'm not really sure what Knight's Armament rifles come with them. But that's the sand cutter, which was specific to the M110. But biggest complaint. You didn't talk about the bolt. Yeah, you're right. And you know what? I should have talked about it in the fucking first video because it's infuriating. This right here. So the bolt has the retaining pin in it for, let's try getting it. You probably can't really see it in the video, but it's a fixed pin. So it just comes in and it comes out. It can't be removed from the bolt carrier. It's fixed, it stays in there. Yada, yada, yada. I'm assuming from, for cleaning it and stuff like that, you know, you're deployed, you just don't want another part flying around, a little teeny pin that you can lose. I'm assuming that's why they did that. It's kind of a cool design, but that being said, so when you are cleaning this thing, it does not take much to pull out. I can literally pull it out with my fingers, and to tell you the truth, I think that's very dangerous. When I'm cleaning it, every now and then, let's see if I can do it. It will not go all the way through. You can push it all the way through, but even the slightest bit when you're putting it back into the upper receiver, that little teeny pin will come out just the slightest. And when it does that, it doesn't cycle the bolt. You'll fire it, it will not cycle, and it will jam the fuck up bad. That's probably my biggest malfunction I've had with this rifle, was this fucking bolt carrier. And that pin. It took me a while. I'm like, what is going on? What the fuck? And it takes like the strength of God himself to get that bolt to the rear. And now you have a stuck case. It's just a big fucking mess. And I was looking at it, I would take it apart, and that teeny little tiny pin was slightly bent. And I saw where it was grinding on the upper receiver, inside of it. And you were having a massive malfunction with your rifle. And that is by far my biggest, probably my biggest malfunction I've had. I'd fire it, wouldn't cycle, and it'd take a lot of strength to pull that bolt to the rear because that little teeny pin is grinding and it's getting stuck on the inside of your upper receiver. And it's a fucking nightmare. So yeah, there you go. There's your $2,000 Knight's Armament bolt carrier and bolt. But yeah, that's about it. And I don't really want to go into it more. So you didn't talk about the bolt. You're probably glad I didn't talk about the bolt because my experience with this thing isn't fucking great. All right. So enough of that. We'll fucking put that back down there. Back to the rifle. Going into the rail. This is a pretty cool rail. It's the Urx Rail, and it's just a quad rail. It's just a Picatinny quad rail. But a big thing that was cool about this, that made it the military really liked about this rifle was, so a lot of the rifles they want iron sights on it just in case your scope goes down, yada yada yada. Well, Knight's Armament did a really cool thing. They said instead of having a fixed front post iron sight, let's integrate it into the rail. There you go. Pops right up. It's just a little teeny button here. Slide it back down. Don't even know it's there. Right back up. Doesn't even. Now you have a fixed front iron sight, which is pretty cool. I've never even used it. I don't even think it's zeroed in. I have the rear one too. It came with the rifle. I've just never really taken it off. It just came with it. I've never used it. I've never had any problem with my scope other than the rings. The rings are trash. The Knight's Armament rings are awful. If you ever buy these, you'll probably hate your life because I've hated my life ever since I bought these. Torque always breaks. It's fucking awful. The little teeny springs in there are about $4 or $5 screws are about $4 or $5 a screw. So they're really just like these cheesy aluminum torque head rings or screws, and they strip out. They're really soft. It's awful. I've replaced those a couple times. I have a whole bunch on hand because they are so sensitive, and they're about $4 or $5 a screw. So that's your almost $400 Knight's Armament scope rings. But rambled off. Let's go back to the rail. Nothing really special about the rail other than that which I really think is a cool design for a military standpoint. That yeah, sure, your scope goes down, you're in a deployed environment where it's like, all right, can't bring it back, let's go do this. You have backup iron sights for it, and it's pretty good. I think it's 600 meters, up to 600 meters is what it was saying. But that's pretty cool. Really cool design, and I think Knight's Armament was one of the first people to adopt that engineering, and I think it's pretty cool. But that's your rail. Your gas block. So the gas block is a pretty cool system too. So the rifle is meant for a suppressor. It has its Knight's Armament suppressor, and it's a pretty badass gas block. So you don't have to tune it. You don't have to do anything to it. Knight's Armament says right out of the factory, it's ready for unsuppressed or suppressed. So that's pretty cool. It's not adjustable or anything like that. You throw it on there, you put the suppressor on, works great. Take the suppressor off, works great. But the one thing that I do notice about that, and you've even probably seen it in my videos because people have commented on it, that my ejecting brass is kind of not consistent. So could be the ammo, could be the gas block. I really don't know. People say it could be something loose. That is possible. But I've never taken this rifle apart personally. Knight's Armament is very finicky stuff. If you're ever trying to buy a Knight's Armament or build a Knight's Armament rifle, do not go cheap. I found this out the hard way numerous times. Knight's Armament and HK, they do not like any other parts. They like Knight's Armament parts, They like HK parts. If you're trying to swap AR-10 parts with an SR-25 or an M110 or whatever it may be, Knights Armament wise, it's not gonna like it. I'm telling you right now, I've seen it a million times. People trying to put AR-10 parts on their SR-25 and it just doesn't cycle. It just doesn't work. So if you are going to build an SR-25 or an M110 or whatever, same rifle pretty much, you gotta use M110 parts. Don't fuck with it. Don't even mess with it. You're just gonna be chasing all this stuff, and you're gonna end up poorer than you already are trying to build something like this. But back to, I've never taken it apart. The only time that it has been taken apart was by Pre-Sample Depot. They are a licensed Knights Armament. They're armorers. Only a couple Knights Armament armorers in the country, and they are one of them. And they're pretty good people. I do trust that they put this rifle correctly back together. So it could be my ammo. That's why it's not consistent. It could be numerous things. I'm not really down to chase the problem. I don't really care. I've never had any problem with cycling or anything like that with suppressed or unsuppressed. But yeah, so that's your gas block. It's pretty cool system. I do like that. You know, when you're going into AR-10s and other stuff, you kind of gotta, your gas block can get a little finicky if you're running suppressed or unsuppressed. But yeah, that's that. Into the barrel. So as you can see in the video, right here is all black. That is actually brown. So underneath all that carbon and underneath all that shit is the brown barrel. It's fucking brown. I don't know what more to say. But that is due to your suppressor. So the suppressor comes over here. Cool design. You can get into the suppressor after that. You're ready to rock and roll. So I haven't had any issue with this. This is kind of what I've read, and I've talked to a lot of people that deployed with this rifle, and I had a buddy of mine. He was in the 82nd, deployed with this rifle. He said, I never took the suppressor off, not once. He said, I never took the suppressor off the entire deployment. And they were finding that these barrels were literally warping. They were bending. So they say. I haven't had an issue with this. This is what I've read. I've heard a couple people say that their barrels were literally bending. It could be could be a couple things. I really don't know. But I really do think my first thing would say was because you leave the suppressor on there, and it's a very heavy suppressor. It gets hot, it does this, and I really do think it's warping the barrel. So yeah, that's your suppressor. And if you're looking at it from a non-military standpoint, where I can't just go buy a $2,000 barrel and this and that. It'd be a little easier if you had a Army issued M110, you send it to the armor, they do their thing, you talk to supply, they buy you a new barrel, it's in the next couple days, they throw it on, and you're back into the fight. We don't have that opportunity. Maybe some people do. I do not. I can't just start throwing on new barrels because they're bending. So that was something that I did read with the suppressor and with this M110, that if you store it with the suppressor on and you're always leaving the suppressor on, there is a potential that your barrel will warp and it will bend, which is extremely dangerous, not good. You do not want that fucking thing to bend. So yeah, that is something that I've read and I've heard, and I've talked to people, issues that they were having. I've, again, never had this issue, because I always once I'm done shooting it, I take the suppressor off and then I throw it in the safe without the suppressor. So never had that issue. But yeah, that's the barrel. And it's a pretty accurate barrel too. It's definitely sub MOA, and it's an accurate rifle. No doubt, it definitely is. But yeah, that's your barrel. Going into the suppressor, I just showed you guys how it locks in real easy, real crazy cool design. I think Knights Armament was one of the first people to adopt this type of engineering, that it just slides in, locks right in place, really easy. It's pretty quiet. I wouldn't say it's the quietest suppressor. I think it's like, it brings it down like 25 decibels or something like that, which by no means is the quietest suppressor out there. It's very long, it's very heavy, makes your rifle extremely top heavy, and yeah, it's a it's a very long suppressor. It probably adds, you know, another probably 7-8 inches on to your barrel, which is about what a normal suppressor does, but other than sliding it in or sliding it across the barrel. But it is definitely a very, very long suppressor, and it's not, I mean, it's all right. I've shot a lot quieter suppressors for the price. This is another about $2,000, $2,300 suppressor for the Knight's Armament one. But it is cool. The quick release, you just literally slide it on, twist, crank it down, and you're in the fight. But it has had a lot of issues. I've read, I've talked to people that deployed with this rifle, and they were having issues with the barrel literally bending because they were leaving it stored and not removing the suppressor. But yeah, so that's the suppressor. Pretty cool design. But that's about it. That's really all I got to say about the Knight's Armament m110. Just a disclaimer, guys. I'm not saying that this is the worst rifle out there. It's a piece of shit. Fuck this thing. I'm not, because it's a good rifle. I do enjoy this rifle. I'm just saying for $15,000, stay away from it. Do not spend $15,000 on this rifle. Let me be the dumb one to do it. I have a lot of time behind this thing, and I have a lot of experience behind this rifle. And to tell you the truth, it's just not, it's not the greatest thing out there. So I know Knight's Armament fanboys are gonna be fucking heads exploding, yada, yada, yada. Leave it in the comment section. If the comment section is weaponized autism, that's the best way to describe it. If somehow the military found a way to capture the energy that goes into my comment section, thank God for world peace. World peace would be a thing, because that's how that's how awful the comment section is. But other than that, it's a disclaimer, guys. I really, really like the M110. It's a great rifle. I can't say it enough. It's just not, the money's not there. You're buying the name. You're buying the history. You're not getting, just because you spend $15,000 does not mean you got the greatest thing since sliced bread. I cannot say it enough. Definitely keep your options open. Go check some other things out. We can make another video. If you guys don't believe me, believe the military. They're going away from the M110 and they're going to the M110A1, which is a HK modeled after the G28. You have the MR762, which is out there, and that's the civilian version. And we can make another. I actually have one right there. There it is, right off to the side there. I'm not going over there and showing it to you guys. We'll make a video about it. I'm doing some work to it right now, and we're gonna add some things to it. But I have a lot of time behind that rifle too. Not that one specifically, my older one. That's a 2021, which they are different. I had to call HK and I was just like, what is going on? One's a lot different than my other one. And they were like, oh yeah, new design, blah, blah, blah. But I have a lot of time behind an older MR762, and they're great rifles. And they're a lot cheaper than a Knight's Armament M110. But yeah, so yeah, just food for thought. You don't want to listen to me, I don't care. If you think what I said was wrong and I'm just a fucking idiot, well, you know what? Kiss my ass and suck my dick. I don't really care. That's my experience with the M110. I'm telling you, brutal honesty about the M110. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I spent $15,000 on it. Nothing can go wrong. It's the greatest thing ever, because it's just not true. But yeah, definitely keep your options open, and you guys are great. Thanks again for watching. And the subscribes are climbing. Thank you guys so much. I think we got, what, I think I got around 400, no, I think over about, I think I started out with like 30 subscribers and we're up to about 450, which is really, really cool in about a month. So definitely climbing, road to 1,000. So if you guys like the video, we got a lot more good stuff coming, and give me a subscribe, hit that bell, write in the comment section. I love all the weaponized autism in the comment section. And other than that, just a quick PSA. Thank God we can buy stuff like this. And thank God for the Constitution. I love this country. I love everybody in it. And yeah, Second Amendment, pretty rad fucking thing. But that being said, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, yada, 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 check out the site, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Later.